First, I looked for inspiration in old paintings, in books, in museums, in art galleries. One of the paintings I saw from the Ingestre Collection, the first painting I saw, was one of Alathea Talbot, and I was just astonished. This painting, this woman from so long ago, it was as though she was living and breathing in the painting. She had been absolutely immortalised and captured. And I really hoped that I could do something similar, but with modern people. I wanted to add something to the collection to bring it up to date, something from now, something that's absolutely of this time. And I noticed, looking at the paintings right away, that there were very few female artists' work included in the collection, and there were very few sitters, if any, who weren't white. So that made me start thinking immediately about what sorts of models I might like to go and look for in the paintings to try and redress the balance a bit. In the Ingestre Collection, I found this fantastic painting of a soldier in full dress uniform. And he's very dramatically lit and coming out of a shadowy doorway. And I really liked the bricks and the texture and his pose, and I thought I could use this in my modern reinterpretation. I tried to imagine what modern local people might be doing in the same place as this soldier stood so long before. When I'm planning to make a painting, I start to sketch in my head. I start to draw out the plans of what I want the painting to look like, and it all starts to come together in my head first. Then I set out to find models who I think can embody the mood I want to portray in the painting. I went out around West Bromwich with some of the students from the local college. They showed me the sights, and they were very patient while we hunted for hours for just the right people. But we knew we wanted some real local people. We were looking for a little bit of attitude, a bit of style. It's hard to put into words, but I knew I'd be working from these pictures for maybe 6 months, and the painting itself may survive at Ingestre Hall for centuries to come.
It was coming to almost the end of the day, and she looked at me and it's like, that's it, you can be the model. Okay. So I stood there for a good 10-15 minutes. Legs were shaking, but yeah, she's an amazing painter.
In a way, it's a big responsibility to choose a model and create paintings, because they're something that are going to live well beyond my lifetime. And by painting somebody, you almost make them immortal. We took lots of photographs in the studio, and when I was looking through them, things started to jump out at me. The way the light hit someone's cheek, a gesture of their hands, and it all started to fall into place. I start by painting the canvases black, and I make a drawing on top of this with pencil. And then I start working with the oil paints. First put the very darkest shadow colours in, and I try and build up the colours and build up the light and the luminescence of the skin and all the little textures you find there. And then I'll go in with glazes, and I'll be able to put transparent layers of glaze in, deepen shadows, add highlights, make any corrections I want to, make small adjustments in the colour. And then finally it will be able to be varnished to protect the surface of the painting. I choose to work with oil paints because they have a lot of translucence and a lot of depth. You don't just get the light hitting the surface of a painting like you would with a print or a page in a book, but the light actually travels into the surface of the painting through the layers of varnish and glaze. And you can get some very special effects like that, and they're very, very good for painting things like the texture of skin, the veins underneath the skin. So while I want the painting to be very lifelike and very realistic, I also like the painting to be very, very textured when you look up close.
Seeing the painting for the first time was a shock, a good shock, because, you know, I thought it almost seemed like she took it with a camera, let alone painting it, you know. And seeing the detail in the jacket, you would never think a person could capture that. So it was amazing, you know. Almost made me cry, But not yet. When all of us are gone, the picture is still there, so there's a bit of me left on the earth, you know. Yeah, so yeah, it's amazing.
I hope that when people see this painting, they will see something in it that's modern and that they can relate to, and so that they don't feel that distance that people sometimes feel when they look at older paintings. And I hope that maybe the other paintings on the wall in the collection will become more relevant to them And because they can relate to this one, that might give them a way in to look at the older pictures that they may have thought were dusty and boring and old and something from the past, may seem to light up and become more interesting to them, and that it might provide a way in for people to enjoy all the paintings in the collection.